Hello, Gumptown, and today we're here at the Meigs Accelerated Christian Academy with Jerry and Janelle Townsend. How y'all doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing great, Jamal.
Thank
Very
you for
good to be
being here.
Yes.
All right, no problem. Thanks for having us. Now, tell us a little bit about Mount Meigs Accelerated Christian Academy.
Well, we are a Christian nonprofit school
Mm-hmm.
for children ages 2 1/2 through third grade. In the fall, we will extend to the fifth grade. We use the Alabama Educational Standards as a guide, as a minimum, and we go from there. We particularly are focusing on the whole child. We focus on uh, infusing their day with Christian principles that are modeled as well as taught.
Mm-hmm.
We provide acceleration for those students who are ready for acceleration, remediation for those students who need it.
And we're totally committed to making sure that the concept of no child left behind or no child falling through the crack.
Mm-hmm.
We're committed to making sure that our brilliant children get an opportunity to apply their brilliance and make a difference in their life. And so that's one of our primary goals.
Great, great. Now, your slogan is "We're much more than daycare; it's academic." Can you elaborate on that?
Uh, yes. We started out with this is not daycare
Right.
because we wanted to emphasize the fact that it's not just daycare. It's not just taking care of a child, but it's a program where we where we minister to the whole child,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, academically, socially, physically. So the theme, it's much more than daycare. It's
Mm-hmm.
academic. Uh, it's more than just daycare and taking care of a child. It's the training, the academic training that we're involved in as well. And at one time that was much more than daycare. It's elementary.
Yes.
When we were stepping into the realm of elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
we added our first through third grade, but we since changed it to it's academic.
Yes. Because our first year, we were just preschool. And we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make sure that people understood that it was school and not just daycare.
Right.
So that was where the original tagline, "It's not just daycare, it's much more than daycare," came from.
Right.
But then as we expanded to first and third grade, it became it's much more than daycare, it's academic, no, it's
Mm-hmm.
elementary.
Right.
And then as we progressed, we wanted people to know that it's academic. It's academic for those little ones
Right.
as well as the older ones, because we start instructing them the day they come, whether they're 2.5 years old or whether they're third graders at this point.
Wow, that's great. Now, tell us about the curriculum you offer. I know you have the creative curriculum system. Tell us about that.
Well, the creative curriculum that we use is one that's recommended nationally for preschool students.
Mm-hmm.
The, we do it a little bit different in that we also offer direct instruction with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coupled. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just that curriculum alone. We also, for the preschoolers, use a preschool Spanish program called
Oh,
Little Pim.
wow.
And it's an award-winning program that was developed specifically for preschool children. The older children are also taught basic Spanish. Um, our our curriculum is again based on the Alabama Educational Standards. Even at preschool, it's the Alabama Educational Preschool Standards.
Oh, wow.
And you know that ensures that if and when a child leaves here, even if it's when they go into prime junior high school, middle school, they're not going to be lagging in anything. They will, as a minimum, be meeting the Alabama standards. So they can walk right into that classroom and be up to date with what's happening in public schools, and hopefully beyond that as well, because we don't, we're kind of self-paced. That is, if a child, as I mentioned earlier, children don't get bored because there's no stopping with the learning. If they've learned one set of standards, then we move them on to the next set.
That's great.
As a matter of fact, we have had students who left us, when we were just preschool, when they got ready to go to kindergarten, they were leaving. Before we added first grade, they were leaving.
Right.
And the children who have left here are doing very well. Most of them have gone to a magnet program, or if they're in just a regular public school program, they are doing very, very well academically.
That's great. Now, what type of impact or progress have you seen in your students, like once they enroll as they go through the year? What type of progress? Can you describe that?
Yes. Let me talk about the preschoolers first.
Mm-hmm.
Every 9 weeks, parents receive what we call a progress report or a student portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
That portfolio consists of the Alabama preschool standards.
Mm-hmm.
Students are assessed when they come within the first week,
Mm-hmm.
and that's our entry data, that's our baseline data.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of every grading period, the parents receive a report to let them know what standards have been mastered, where students are emerging on what standards. So what we find is that students do very well from the baseline data through each of the reporting periods. Basically the same thing with our elementary students. They are assessed when they come, and then parents, of course, get report cards every 9 weeks based on the academic standards.
Okay. Okay.
And that assures that wherever a child is when they come here,
Mm-hmm.
we start with them there and move them toward accomplishment of the standards as a minimum. And then it's not unusual. We've had a number of children that they meet those standards. For instance, if they meet the preschool standards, we take them on into kindergarten standards. Even if they're 3 years old and they've accomplished the preschool standards,
Mm-hmm.
we don't just say, well, that's as far as you need to go now. We take them on into the higher standards.
That's great.
Yes, we do add kindergarten standards for reading and math when students master the preschool standards and they're beyond, the things that are required of those preschool standards.
Okay. Now, about how many students are enrolled in your program now?
We currently have 11,
Mm-hmm.
and our capacity is 44.
That's great. And how can a parent get their child enrolled? Can you explain the registration process?
Yes, sir. Uh, they can contact me at our office, which is 273-1255, or on my mobile phone, which is 546-3903, and we will set up a time for them to come and tour the building. We'll give them an application, a registration form, and talk with them about that process. We also have the application form on the website, which is
MMACA.org.
Mm-hmm.
MMACA.org.
And on the website, they would have to print it out and complete it and then get it to us.
Okay. Now, why do you think programs like this are important for our youth, especially in the urban community? Why are these programs important?
As I was saying a little earlier, because of our class sizes, and because of the dedication of our teachers, and because we teach based on Christian principles, our teachers are able to spend a little bit extra time making sure that children don't fall through the cracks because they require a little extra time.
Mm-hmm.
In a classroom with 20, 25, 30 children, 30 students, it's much harder to give a little bit of additional attention to a student than it is when you have a classroom with a maximum of 11 students in it. And so we're committed to we're committed to making sure that, as I mentioned earlier, that we don't have smart children that get left behind because of the size of a classroom or because someone doesn't have a little extra time to spend with them. So that's, I think I answered your question, or did I get off further?
Yes, well, and I just want to add to that,
Yeah.
that, we're not a negative indictment on public schools
No.
at all.
No.
And I want to make sure that your listeners know that. What we are is an alternative for a certain group of students and parents who want a smaller classroom environment, who want their children to
A Christian environment.
openly be able to display their Christian values, and who are going to see Christian values displayed throughout the day. Or who want their children not to be held back because of the limitations of another program, but are able to accelerate if they're ready for it.
Right.
That's great.
Or who can get the additional remediation if they need it. Public school teachers, I worked in the public school system, and for the most part, I found that public school teachers are dedicated teachers who really want to help students. But in our environment, I think the difference is our teachers don't have a lot of extra duties that they have to perform. They don't have a lot of committees that they have to serve on. So they have that extra time that public school teachers, even when they want to, they're just not able to give it.
That's good. That's good. Now, tell us where you're located.
We are located in the historic Mount Meigs Middling area, and at 13074 Edna Brake Lucas Drive in Montgomery.
Great. Is there anything else you would like to share with Gumptown today?
Just that we're just really pleased with what's going on at our school. We wish there were more children here who could benefit from the program. We would like for people to call and come out and tour our facility. We love talking about it. So, we'd love to meet you and greet you and show you around and show you some of the things that are going on, and then let you be the judge.
And we're so thankful for those who support the school. The Church of Christ in Mount Meigs and the members there of the congregation whose vision this is. We're so thankful for that support. The school too has a parent-teacher friends club.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Which is supporters of the school. They put on various fundraisers. They have various activities for the school. So we're thankful for all the people who've committed time and finances and effort into bringing the school to where it is now. And we just want to thank all of you for that. And I want to encourage you to be a part of the Parent Teachers Friends Club. You can get information on that also from our administrator. And again, we're just thankful, and we're thankful to God for allowing us to be able to participate in this work.
Yes. And then finally, we cannot end without saying how thankful we are to the parents.
Yes.
Those parents who have trusted us with their most precious jewels.
Right.
And and there were those who, from the very beginning, even before we opened our doors, signed their children up when we were not proven, when we didn't have data to back up what we now can back up, when we were